Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Stretch Professor, and today we're going to be starting a brand new campaign with Azhag, the Slaughter of the Greenskins. So, as always, if you enjoy the content, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out a ton on the channel. Check out the rest of the campaigns as well. We have over 40 legendary campaigns on the channel, and I'm going to be doing a ton of content as soon as Warhammer 3 comes out as well. And I should be getting early access to that, so I should be able to bring you some of that content a bit earlier than the actual release too, so you can just kind of see what you might want to play, what looks most interesting to you. Okay, let's go ahead and get in here. Now, I think I've only played Grom the Paunch since they reworked the Greenskins when he came out. So it'll be fun to revisit the Greenskins a little bit more. So I haven't played Azhag since they moved him up here to the north. But I think it's particularly interesting because the suitable climate temperate means that we can just try to fight the Empire and take over kind of this northern area, which is a good change of pace from the Barrens, which is where, you know, most of the Greenskins are going to do a lot of their fighting. So it's different enemies, different terrain. Should be a good time. You also get a little bit of extra research rate, income from sacking settlements plus 25%. That's really handy because we're going to be sacking a lot of settlements. And then this is really huge too, especially early on. The extra leadership plus 8 and the aura size plus 75. So if we do want to get some trolls in the mid game, which we probably do, the trolls are very powerful, then that's extremely good with them because trolls are great. I mean, they have a lot of damage. They're relatively cheap. They have regeneration. They're siege attackers. This is the biggest problem with them is their leadership is super low. So they only have 40 leadership. So anyways, that's a really good option there. But let's go ahead and get in here. So we're probably going to be trying to take out, I'm blanking out on the name, but the purple humans that are occupying your area first, and then we might turn our attention to messing with other greenskin factions in the mountains. It's going to be hard to get past the Slayer dwarf guy, Ungrim, early on, but once we're able to get some Biggins, and Biggins should match up pretty well against Slayers, I believe. So I think they've buffed Biggins quite a bit from what I remember. I don't remember if they always had sweeping attacks or not, but it feels like they might, kind of like great swords. I'm not 100% about that, but they do have pretty heavy armor at 50 armor. Again, not as high as something like great swords, but it's pretty good. They do get a bonus versus large. They still only have a range of 1. Most like spear and halberd units will have a range of 2. Which means that like 2 rows of spears get to attack at a time. But Biggins are a lot better just as normal fighters, even against, you know, units that aren't large units. They just happen to get a bonus versus large. Okay. So as far as technologies go, early on, we're going to be going for Go Biga and then Heavy Metal for the 10 armor and the 5% weapon strength, and then Heavy Clubs for the plus 8 melee attack for all orc infantry. Those are kind of the biggest things early on, and then after that, we'll just kind of get a feel for where we want to be. The cavalry aren't that inspiring. We'll probably just switch and go up here to campaign movement range, no infighting, and then Healy mushrooms. Most likely. A lot of this stuff are just like goblin things that aren't going to be particularly useful. This does give you a lot of orc power right here. The public order is a pretty big deal. So there are several different ways that you can do it, but we definitely want to start here. Then as far as buildings go, just going to go ahead and get gold building ASAP, and then here we're going to have to upgrade this anyway, so we might as well just go ahead, start that, and then we could get some archers, which, you know, aren't phenomenal, but they can be on par with, like, you know, Empire crossbowmen. Now they're better fighters. They still are not amazing in combat, but once they run out of ammo, they can step up and do a little bit more. But we are going to just get some incidental buffs for them in the early game. So with the skills over here, we want to eventually get to Du Bois, which is going to give you extra missile strength, reload time, and then melee attack and weapon strength for all orc infantry units. Scales extremely well because some of your top-end infantry are going to be the Black Orcs, which are some of the best heavy infantry in the game, next to like Chaos Chosen and maybe a handful of other units, but they're really, really good. They do a lot of damage. So melee attack on them is a big deal. And then Azhag gets Skull Muncher, which is nice. I think he's the only Orc Lord that gets a flying mount, unless I'm blanking out. I think he's the only one, so that's really handy just tactically to have that. And then you also have Imbued by Madness, minus 25% upkeep for all Orc and Biggin infantry and cavalry units. So that's really, really good. And then you also get Frenzy as well, which is pretty much plus 10 melee attack and 10% extra damage on all of them. So extremely powerful buff. And then you also get 8 melee, 8 melee defense, and you get extra missile strength and speed, shaman stuff. Extra ranks for shamans. Vanguard, obviously really good with slow-moving infantry like the Black Orcs. Now, typically, we're probably going to have more artillery than most enemy setups, but so we can force them to come to us. But Vanguard, you know, can still be pretty good in a lot of situations. 20 charge bonus, personally, and 8 melee attack. Not insane, but if you combine that with Skull Muncher already having 80, that would give you a 100 charge bonus, which can be very good. And then this getting a free Wind of Death without costing any magic, that's usually, you know, worth like almost 30 magic, so that's really good. And then you also get regeneration. So he has some very, very nice personal buffs that he can get. And he comes free with Spirit Leech, which is good at dueling enemy lords. Then you have Aspect of the Dread Knight, which is okay, but your Waaagh is going to give all of your units terror anyways, so it's alright. But it does imbue magical damage too, which is huge if you're facing you know, stuff that's really resistant to physical damage. Then that's pretty good. And Get On With It is an extra 8 leadership as well. So he just gives a ton of different leadership buffs, which is, you know, great because Greenskins typically have fairly low leadership. Alright, let's go ahead and get into a fight here. Let's do this. Try to go through this and see how much we can get, go as fast as we can. Now, they did also add some properties on the back end of this mountain, which is very well insulated and protected, so we probably want to go pick that up fairly early too. I think it's held by Skaven. I believe we should match up pretty well against Skaven. Greenskins are notoriously very good in the early game, especially with their infantry. So it's not as strong as like dwarfs early game, but they have really, really good offense. The Orc boys, you just get a lot of strong buffs, and you do have access to good armor piercing flanking units fairly early on if you want that. So you can get some of those like pump wagon chariots, or you can get trolls, you can get boar riders. You do need some of that to beat dwarfs early on, because they will, you know, they're just going to have more armor, more melee defense. They will beat you in a really long fight, but there are several ways you can deal with Greenskins. Or dwarfs rather, sorry. Focus up here. Okay, and then we just want to try to harass these Spider Riders. They're not really that fantastic, but just for the early game, they're relatively cheap, so we'll just go ahead and use them. And what we're looking to do is try to minimize they only have one archer unit, so if we can just pick that off a little bit, just kind of harass them. Oh, that was almost completely worthless. But you might as well. It's very cheap. It's only 4 magic, just to throw that out there. So they'll come at us eventually. The AI has gotten a lot smarter over time. Yeah, here they come. They realize that they gotta go. Next target we want to work on are these spears. And get one more volley. There we go. We should just be able to charge him down here. Okay, now we've got terror causing units effectively. There we go. Just try to get a chain break in here. Come on, baby. Let's get a hit in here. Oh, not quite enough. He's gonna get away. I mean, they're gonna die anyways. They're in the town. We'll just run down as best we can, just real quick. Just 3 exit here. Get a few extra kills on some of our units. It does round them off and kill them at the end of the battle. I'm still not 100% like whether you get like experience for those on your units or not, whether it's divided up. Your Lord experience is obviously just based on like the victory type, whether it's Pyrrhic or whatever. I hope they change that in Warhammer 3 because it just feels a little goofy. Like if you sit there and just farm an easy rebellion over and over again, I feel like rebellions should not give you something, either gold or experience. I don't think it should give you experience for rebellions. I guess you can get a little bit of gold for killing it, but I feel like it should not give you experience. You know, there's some people that will just farm rebellions over and over and over again, and you could just sit in your town and do that. I mean, rebellion should be punitive. It should be bad if you don't manage your public order correctly. Maybe that's difficult to code, I don't know. But I would have rebellions give no experience. Maybe give a bigger bonus to your public order for longer. Or something like that, so that you don't have to constantly go back and keep fighting it if after you've already dealt with one rebellion. But I just think that's one of the biggest cheeses that's still left in the game. It's just farming rebellions or just multi-sacking the same town. You shouldn't be able to get experience after sacking a town from, you know, interacting with that town again for like 5 turns or something. Alright. Yeah, I'm just going to sack. It's almost always best to sack and occupy with Greenskins if you have the movement speed, just because you get 25% sack bonus, especially with Azhag. And you don't need a lot of high tier buildings. Okay, so I think we'll just go ahead and go for Root Marcher. These first few fights are pretty simple, I think. And then just repairing the buildings. Like, we got 1,000 something there. Now, do I want the... I think I want the growth building over the money. So it's only going to cost 520, and we still got a piece of a building. I'm going to demolish that and put growth on it, because we just want to get to tier 3 ASAP before our public order gets too bad. Okay, then just... works. We got the gold building. No one likes us. Alright. So we're probably going to just go for Naganov, and then we kind of have a choice if we want to mess with Kislev or not early on. They might mess with us. I don't think we can fully siege them, and we can't hold their property for a while, but we could just like burn Fort Chikova. I wish they would allow you to sack and then burn. If they allow you to sack and occupy, why can't you sack and burn? Or like burning should give you like more gold. Loot and burn, maybe as an option, but... either way, alright. Underway, one of my favorite mechanics in the game. Whenever I have it. Whenever I don't have it, it's one of the most annoying mechanics. Greenskins do have exceptionally good growth, because every time you level up, you do get more growth. And you get pretty good money from your town. Surprisingly, Greenskins have really good growth, really good public order, compared to a lot of other factions, and really good money, which you would not think that would be the case with like Greenskins, but as you get growth and obedience all on one thing right there, which is really nice. And then of course this is almost always going to be giving you some penalties. There's some bonuses rather. Okay. And we don't want to go for an extra Lord or anything on Legendary early on, just because it increases the upkeep on all of your units by 15%. And we have a pretty good starting army. I mean, we've got Trolls, we've got Rocklobber. Azhag is a pretty good duelist early because he has the Spirit Leech, and he's, you know, a decent fighter. Not as good of a, you know, fighter as some of the other melee-only lords, but he's still strong. Close victory, we gotta fight it. We should be closing in on that technology pretty soon. It's a little goofy they're making me fight this. They just have absolutely no prayer. They have no crossbows. It's just melee, and my melee is stronger. And we have a Lord, and a Shaman, and a Rocklobber. And we have over twice as many units. But it's fine. We can just 3x it. Alright. Blah, blah, blah. I want to fight them out here in the open if we can, so that my missiles don't get blocked. Orcs also take a penalty if you fight in the trees because they're large. Large units get penalties if you fight in foliage, and small units get a penalty if you fight in the water. We weren't aware of that, but you can hover the terrain type and it'll tell you melee attack 80% for large units and speed. So lose 20% of all their stuff. Try to hit the spears if we can. I don't think we're going to be able to hit him. Yeah, these things do, like, no damage. It's basically just for the slow, just to slow them by 20% and just harass them. Buy some time. Alright, we'll just clean up a couple of these dudes. Oh. Yeah, let's not hit my own people. I guess we are faster than them with the orcs. I didn't think we were. Oh, they did have a lord? Huh. In the garrison? That's weird. Alright, that's good enough. Don't want to keep you guys waiting too long. Spider Riders do look like they have a lot of kills because they're able to clean up fleeing units. But when it comes to actual combat, they just don't do that much. They do almost no armor piercing damage. I think they do like 16 or something damage. I was really interested to see that the ogres have snotlings. I saw a recent fight that CA released between Ogre Kingdoms and Khorne, and that was kind of the answer. A lot of people were wondering, okay, if it's literally all ogres, all monstrous infantry, are they not going to be too vulnerable to spears and halberds? But it looks like they are going to have, like, basically like goblin type of units that you can deploy that are just sort of like really weak, expendable base units. So I think that's a way they can balance them out. I don't know lore-wise if that's cool, but that kind of makes sense. I mean, they are mercenaries, and Snotlings are kind of silly. So I saw them as just like almost like Greenskins 2.0 is sort of their silliness, but having you know, even more monstrous type of units. And some of their mechanics look pretty cool too. So I'm actually, that was one faction where I was like, I don't know like how cool this is going to be. It'll probably be all right, but it's kind of just turned off by just the, I don't know, gluttonous nature. But they're actually pretty funny, and it looks like some of their mechanics are going to be pretty fun. So now I'm not 100% what I should be doing here. I think we'll just sack and maybe occupy, but we'll see how it unfolds. I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to be able to hold this area. We're just mostly fighting just so we build up some wall meter. Brainbuster. And then demolish that. And I think we can just not repair this. Maybe put a money building in there, and if we can just hold it for 3 or 4 turns, maybe it's worth it, or just let it fall. Just fall to rebellions or whatever. Got that. We got a technology next turn coming up. Okay, should be good. Huh. Well, I was going to go over there and conquer him. I mean, I don't need to do that, and I'm not going to be able to control that whole province because of the Caracadrine situation. I would like to eventually go down here and, you know, gain control of the mountains and get this special gold mine and clean up this stuff on the other side of the mountains, but it's interesting. There's going to be some kind of pass there, presumably to get up into like ogre territory or something. It's kind of cool that on the map you can kind of make out a lot of sort of what they're already going to do there. There's really no reason for this. I mean, I guess we'll take it. We could eventually confederate with them, potentially. Although, we do have to keep in mind that it does give a lot of public order penalties when you confederate. Alright, we're going to go for this heavy metal scrap. I mean, yeah, Mordheim. They've already taken Mordheim. These avatars of woe. I guess I could have just... There's a bridge there, right? Yeah, I could have just walked over there and raided. So that was a tiny sub-optimization. Alright, go with that. Okay. It's just big and bullies, and then we just want to go for the heavy clubs. Let's do it. Let's see how many fights we can get in one episode here. We can get 3 or 4, maybe. Really crank the speed up and then talk during the load screens. Warhammer 3 is looking great, though. I think, so some of my favorite factions... Ogres might actually have gone up quite a bit. Nurgle looks good. I think Khorne will be fun. I just like hyper-aggressive factions where you're not defending, you just like go hard. I think that makes for a fun playing experience and a fun viewing experience. I don't like to sit back and play defensively. So I have grown to really, and in order to do that, you know, stuff that can deal with public order, not have to mess with public order, is really nice on Legendary. Because that's what will force you to play defensively more than anything most of the time, is just having to deal with rebellions. That's part of why I really like, or a lot of times I kind of like Horde factions. Just because you don't have to mess with public order. Although I do like city management. Okay, it's just extra cast range. Doesn't give you any extra missiles or anything. Oh, we've got Brain Busted too. I forgot about that. We need to be using that instead of the gaze. I remember way back in the day when the game kind of was in its infancy, especially in multiplayer, people would use those gaze spells and they were very, very strong. Oh yeah, that's pretty good right there. That is tasty. We're barely taking any damage from those arrows. We'll just wait a second, just so we can get a couple more volleys in. Alright, let's go. That terror causing is just so massive in the early game with that wall. There's Massacre 'em. Yeah, those biggins do so much work. I swear, I feel like they have sweeping strikes. Like great swords. Because like great swords can hit multiple targets when they swing. And large units like trolls and giants and things like that hit multiple targets too. It's a little more visual with the big monsters because you see multiple units go flying. But there are some just baseline infantry that have much more subtle animations where they hit multiple targets. So I'm not 100% if biggins are like that or not. I wish it would make some of that a little more clear in the tooltip, but I could look it up. I mean, there are websites that tell you these things, but they're really good in Melee, I can tell you that. Oh, Brass Cleaver is an extremely good item. Yeah. 10 melee attack for everybody in range. Pretty big. Ooh, that's a big sack. It's very tasty. boys. We'll just, I guess we'll do that. Little wall power. Oh, we can recruit more. Okay. Nice. It's a pretty good pickup. Over here, obviously, still just going to wait on the growth. And these buildings do naturally repair over time. I've had people ask, well, why don't you repair the building sometimes? It's like, I don't want to spend the money on it. Don't want to spend the gold on it. And sometimes it can be deceptive if it's like, oh, you have 30,000 gold in your bank. It's like, well, as soon as I hire another lord and put a bunch of units in them, then I'm going to be back down to 0. Like, you got to have, or it's really nice to have a bit of a cushion. Or if you just have to hire a lord on the spot and then hire some units really quickly just to stop them from backdooring you. You always want to do as much as you can with as few resources as you can in any sort of strategy game. So if you can get it done, you know, with less units or less cost or whatever, you probably should. Now, these guys have a pretty good garrison for this point in the game. Like, these are actually quite strong with her. She gives them a lot of bonuses. They get 20%. They have frenzy, which means they basically have like 43 melee attack, and they get like 20% physical resist. So I think we'll just not mess with her. And who are who's Kislev at war with? Nobody yet? Okay, well that's not good news for us. I guess we could go back and hop over this wall and just try to kill these guys. Does it say how strong they are? It says those rats are kind of strong. Well, I mean, Sisterhood's kind of weak. Okay, so my options are here. I could just... well, we've already hired, so I think we can just go ahead and get rid of this. I could mess with Kislev, or... I guess running straight for Beechhofen is not horrible. Okay, it says they do have an army somewhere that could be some way decent. A little dangerous running it up here like this. But we can raid. We get a little bit of extra scrap. And you actually get... You're not winded. And you actually gain a bonus if you're raiding. So you get 5 melee attack and 5 leadership. So that's one really cool thing with the Greenskins is... They can move their entire movement and not get penalized for raiding, and actually get bonuses for raiding. So that's pretty handy. Okay, so I guess we'll leave Mordheim alone. Maybe someone else will burn it. I did get rid of the recruitment building, I think. Hopefully I remember to do that. I mean, they should like... Now, they're at war with Stirland, so it's possible Stirland takes Mordheim. Okay, so they are coming at me. Huh. Now, they do have a mortar. That's pretty bad news for us. There's a lot of units, too. We could try to run and just see what happens. Let's try to run and just see what happens. Okay. One of them is in dash stance now, too. United against us. Okay, so the Skaven are at war with us now. I thought about messing with the Skaven. Ostermark. That's weird, but okay. So I think that's the Skaven that are over here. I mean, we could be in trouble. World's Edge Mountains if they like hop over this. I think they're probably fighting the Sisterhood too, though, aren't they? No, it's just us apparently. Okay, well, We could just full on run away. These are annoying because I don't have any archers yet. Now, these guys are going to be tired in battle. It's very close, so if I attack these guys first, then these will be in the reinforcements on the side. And I should be able to come at them from like an angle right here and then attack. Like right here and attack. And then these guys will come in from the side. They might even come in behind me. I mean, we do have the wall, which is really strong, and if they're all clumped up, if we can get them on the edge there, they're not going to get to use their mortar, and then I can just, like, rain down on them with brain bustas and trolls. Oh, how do we even get these? Oh, we get them from different walls. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna try it.
Azhag is here. Encourage staff.
Oh, we've got Cleaver too. I think we should be able to take him. Okay. Alright, let's try it out. Could be ambitious, but that map is really hard to understand. It tells you like elevations and stuff, but I wish it would give you a better detailed map. I know that's a lot of art assets though to, you know, try to do that all the time, but yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. So we just want to run in there and get them and just neutralize neutralize their artillery. I mean, it does neutralize our artillery too, but this will have them pinned in against the wall. And I guess we could try to fire on them from like here, maybe. Fire on the edges. It'd be less likely we hit our own people if we do that. We could just roll up here and then fire down, do the old flanking artillery. Get in behind them with trolls, and we'll just use these to try to just harry the other units. We just want to go really wide here. Oops, I need... Where are the other dudes? Are they just hiding in the forest or what? Okay, I don't know. Okay, there they are, finally. These guys don't have any archers, do they? They have a little bit. Oh, they all scared? Okay, so these guys are all dead. Because they are reinforcing. Or they are, they dashed. Just in case, though. Oops. Got that timing a little off there on the 3x. That's a really fast timing window there. Okay, let's go, boys. Let's go. Those trolls are putting in some work on that one. Stuff of nightmares. Yeah, I'm hyped for Warhammer 3, man. We just gotta wait a couple more months. I might get to play it. I don't know how early the early access is gonna be, like a month. It probably says on their Discord. I need to join that. This victory, we murdered them. I mean, I guess we lost a couple units. They deployed almost twice as much. Okay, so he should get deleted. And then the other one, I believe, will still get to run away, so we'll have to run him down. But yeah, you can predict, they changed this years ago, where when you attack, the reinforcements will come from an angle that roughly corresponds to the angle in which the reinforcements are positioned on the map. So if I would have attacked these guys head on, then the reinforcements would have come in behind the main guy, and that would have made this fight like way, way harder. Possibly unwinnable. If that mortar gets to fire uncontested to match my catapult in terms of casualties, then we're going to have a big problem. Because that's like a huge advantage that I have, is that catapult. Normal Orc Boy is just putting in some work. So these guys will get to run. We really neutralized these Pistoliers too, because they were just really caught up in this weird no man's zone. Yeah, it's just almost always just ransom captives. Pretty simple. Okay, so he died. Minus 15%. Now that used to be bugged, where it did not give you the discount, but hopefully it is unbugged. I do like how they go back and show a little love towards some of these older factions, doing some reworks, doing some, you know, buffs, and just really trying to make the factions feel fairly unique. So like putting them in different places, like Azhag the Slaughter starting up here. I think they've done just an exceptional job with this game over time, at least from the single player. The multiplayer was extremely questionable back in the day. They may have improved some of it. Like, I think it was really good for small-scale tournaments, like what Turin does. But as far as like a solo queue kind of thing with a ranking system, it was really rough. It was pretty fun to try to play it, and there were some good matches, but balance-wise, it was a little on the shaky side. Okay. Let's go ahead and fight this. I don't think we'll have enough. Yeah, I mean, we can just. I think that's gonna put us over 60 minutes though, and I really want to keep these in that 45 to 60 minute zone. So we'll just start off next episode with this. I'm pretty sure we should be able to clean this up. The Pistoliers are a problem because we don't have a lot of archers yet, and they can go toe to toe with my spiders, but I think if we just kill their lord and just run over the rest of their units, then the Pistoliers might get their leadership might be low enough to where we can just they'll just run off the battlefield. We'll see. But yeah, if we kill the lord and then just start slaughtering the swordsmen, then hopefully the Pistoliers will run away, and we could just I don't know, just sacrifice one of these orc boys or something, just run at them with the shields, and you know, that should do it. But anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you'd like to sponsor a campaign yourself, just email me, thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind. It's just $3 an episode. So in America, that's about 20% of the minimum wage in a lot of places. It's just $3 an episode if you want to help support the channel and, see some personalized content. And otherwise, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.